Miss Bourboner behind us as well.
Yeah, was really concerned about the background tonight, so she said we needed something live in the background, so we're getting flowers.
How's the new digs, Blake?
Put the wreath up.
Yeah, the wreath's retired. Yeah,
but we're getting into the holiday season.
Yeah, well, she wanted to put a nutcracker back there, and she was like, I'm sure somebody will say something about having Christmas decorations out already.
I'm glad that she cares about what our viewers think.
Yeah, I said, Danielle, if you met half these people in person, you'd probably be okay with it.
That's why I just know white wine. What are you trying to say, Blake?
I'm saying my taste in Christmas decorations should not be the driving force of.
All right.
Oh, he showed up on time. Happy birthday, Carrie.
Carrie.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. What is that? Uh-oh.
I can't see it.
I think it was a microphone.
We can't hear you, Carrie.
Oh, yeah. That's the blue, right?
Yeah. Carrie, you don't have it set up correctly because we cannot hear you. So you need to hover over the gearbox, the settings cog, and make sure that is set up for your
new mic is really awesome.
Okay, so I just set that up. Let's see if that makes a difference.
There we go. Now we can hear you.
Okay.
All right.
How does this?
Is that we got a rare bird sighting?
That's right.
Yeah, I was about to say he's gonna be our little surprise. I figured, if we're gonna talk about his label, we might as well have him come on and give us his perspective on it.
I appreciate it. I'm a little under the weather. My voice is it's kind of in and out, but I'll hang in here.
No excuses.
Hey, Kenny, real quick, is the microphone gonna pick up from the speakers? Do I need to put in earbuds?
Right now we can't hear any feedback, so I think right now you're okay. But maybe for future reference, if you got them around,
I have them around. They're not that far.
Yeah, might as well grab them because usually that's typically what we do to make sure you don't get any feedback.
Yeah. Okay.
Is mine working?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. I can never tell with this Yeti.
Well, where's it actually set up at? Is it over here? Like not in front of your face? I can't tell.
I'm not telling.
Okay. Keep me guessing. And then Brian said he's gonna be running about 5 to 10 minutes late, so we're gonna just stall for a minute, and then if not, then we'll just get started without him.
Well, is everything really choppy, or is that just me?
Who's choppy? Is it me?
Yeah.
Yes, it's me.
You're okay.
It's choppy
back now.
Am I choppy?
Okay.
Somebody tell me, am I choppy?
No, not anymore. You were.
Oh, well,
let me
probably
close out of everything.
Oh, well, I'm an idiot because I've got the fucking I've got the YouTube video right here on the other browser, so that was probably taking up some bandwidth. And then my kids downstairs watching Netflix, so
test. Just making sure y'all can hear me.
Whoa. Yes, we can hear you good, loud and clear.
Carrie, never heard Carrie's voice before. Just hear it muffled through iPhone.
It actually makes a difference. You can hear it.
Oh man, it's so much better. Yeah.
The only problem is if your speech gets slurred, you pick up everything.
I mean, it's going to.
There's no filter.
42 tonight, so I'm gonna drink
42. Congrats!
Happy birthday, man!
Did you say 42 different bourbons?
Yes.
Yeah, Shotsky going.
Let's start now.
Okay.
That or just figure out an age way. So
I was working on the age. I think I have
get 2 10s in a 12, or sorry, 3 10s in a 12 year, and then you're at 42.
Yeah, but I don't want 10.
This is all subject. But what wine do you pair with turkey?
Can we get some? Like a Chardonnay or a Sauvignon Blanc.
Man,
you need actual turkey or like wild turkey? Because we have that wild turkey guy.
I think with white meat.
I pair turkey with turkey.
Yeah. Turkey on turkey.
That's right.
Somebody in the comments has to have some kind of wine experience. I don't know. Anyways, my sister just texted me.
There's a new thing called Google that may have an answer.
Okay, so I'm going to start with this, fellas.
Wow.
1979. ER.
It's your first drink of the day?
Not quite birth year. What was your birth year?
76. So this was 79.
Okay. Close enough.
I have a 77 after this. So is Mr. Minnick going to make it or no?
No, he is not going to make it.
Harry's birthday. He's out.
We're so he can't make it. We've got what was it? So we were actually gonna, we're gonna talk about Kentucky Owl Park. I actually reached out to Dixon and see if he wanted to come on, but he said he wasn't able to either. So we're just gonna talk behind his back, apparently. And then Brian said he's leaving downtown. So like I said, we're gonna stall for like another 4 minutes, and then we're just gonna get started without him.
So Pinot Gris from Oregon, Pinot Noir, Zinfandel, Dolcetto, Chinon. These are all wines to pair with your turkey.
I'm pretty
Where
sure
are you reading this from?
anybody will put that out there.
Food and wine.
Oh,
Hey,
okay.
you made it.
Fair enough.
Hey, I made it.
There he is.
That was the fastest trip from downtown ever.
Man,
Did you run? Did you?
I feel like it. All right. Still getting adjusted here. But I poured my drink.
No problem. You're sweating?
I am. I had to, and it was hot in that Henry Clay too. I mean, I had my sport coat on from work, and man, it was hot. So
White
t-shirt
or the
Red
Heaven
Roll.
Hill or the
no, it was the Bourbon Society meeting, and they had me there to say something about the book and sell some copies. And so
signed books.
when I had a line at the end, and I'm
hands.
trying to move it along, but you guys are kind enough to wait.
You got
Did you tell everybody like hurry up and go home and watch the podcast?
I did. I said I gotta get it
before you leave.
Yeah, I said everybody get home and watch this. This is gonna be great.
Good deal. All right. Well, I think we got pretty much everybody that we're going to have on tonight. So I think we're good there. Any questions before we get kicked off? I think everybody kind of saw the topics tonight.
I did not, but
Of course you didn't.
you didn't email them. I don't know.
Do you not see
them in the?
Yeah, you're not in the Twitter group chat?
No, I'm still on that social media ban.
Hey, Bri guy.
Well, we'll get
Hey
you.
guys. Hey, can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah, we can hear you.
Somehow I lost my video. I gotta see what I did wrong.
Take your thumb off the camera.
Yeah.
Flip it to on.
There it goes.
Yeah.
Oh,
there's that face
now,
I know.
now it's me and the big face. I gotta switch that off. I gotta switch that.
I think if you
Okay,
hit
good.
escape, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I see Carrie and I'm happy. Happy birthday, brother.
Thanks, buddy. Hey, so I got a real microphone. Look, you can hear my.
Ooh.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Bosick.
Okay, see, that actually sounds pretty good. You should.
Sound like
All
a
right.
DJ.
So I'm the PA announcer for my kids' football team. So I do bring like a little game day voice with me. So
Do you really?
Yeah.
You want to open us up with a game day voice?
Sure.
Please.
It's touchdown for the Bourbon Roundtable crew. Actually,
I like that.
Excited.
All right, let's go ahead. We'll get it kicked off. David, do you want me to introduce you at the very beginning, and you can be a part of all the conversation? You just kind of want to wait until your portion to save your voice.
However you want to roll with it. It's fine. It's better than it was earlier today. So I think I'll be all right.
I think
Okay.
bourbon helps that too, for sure.
Well, I'm working on Carrie. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Mix a little honey in there. You'll be good.
Yeah, it's
I
medicinal.
don't put
Right?
honey in my bourbon, man.
Yeah, local honey, right? It's gonna be local honey.
Come
That'll
on, Wild
happen.
Turkey was known for the bourbon and honey.
Yeah, well, not me.
Yeah, you don't even have to source your own honey. It's just in the bottle.
All right.
Well, you gotta be careful because I pick up all that sound now with that new microphone.
Oh, sorry.
Welcome back to the 26th recording of the Bourbon Community Roundtable. It's a crowd favorite. It's a fan favorite. We talk about new and interesting news that is happening inside the bourbon world with a lot of the elite bloggers on the scene as well. And, we've got two of the trio from Bourbon Pursuit here tonight. So, Ryan, how are you, buddy?
I am doing well. It's my favorite week of the year, Thanksgiving week. Just getting ready to get bloated, drink a lot of bourbon and enjoy some family time and friends.
And oddly enough, we were talking before here about what do we pair with turkey, and everybody's like, "Oh, you got to go with Pinot. You got to go Pinot Noir." Are you gonna be a wine guy when it comes to turkey time this Thursday? Or are you gonna sit there and maybe bring out some wild turkey?
That's a game day decision. I'm just really excited right now because it's somebody's birthday, and I can't even think about anything else. It's I've been so excited all day to talk about it tonight.
Well, that's a good way. We'll go ahead and say happy birthday to Carrie from the Roundtable. So congratulations, 42.
42 young years. Yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate it. And I actually, my night consisted of going to the cycling club or the indoor cycling bar, and then ribs, and then podcasts. So just so you guys know, you fit into like my life that I wanted on my birthday. Nothing more than to sit here and talk bourbon with you guys.
Just hanging out with a bunch of internet friends at night.
That's right.
So do you have more blog posts or birthdays?
Definitely birthdays, but I do like being considered an elite blogger, though. That's my tagline.
Just go ahead and blogger. When you make your business cards, go ahead and just put that on the back.
Yeah, I got it.
But so as usual, before we begin, we usually just go around the horn and everybody kind of talks about where they blog or what they do. So Carrie, since we had kind of introduced you and your birthday, I'm going to let you go ahead and go first.
Cool. So I'm on suburbia.com, SUBOUR. I can't even pronounce it. SUBOURBIA.com. On Twitter at bourbon_gamer. I'm actually about to add another person to the Suburbia team. So I think that'll help because Breaking Bourbon's got like 18 guys, right? So like, they don't have
an unfair advantage of
really do. So looking to expand, write more articles, write more reviews. I kind of like not the review stuff, but just kind of the funny, like the stuff we can all relate to. The one I'm working on now is, how they do the come on, man, when they're talking about sports and people do stupid stuff.
Come on, man.
I have bourbons. Come on, man. So that's the next one coming out. And just find me on social media.
Absolutely. And our lawyer in resident, Brian, I'll let you go ahead and go next.
That must be me. Thanks, guys. This is Brian with Sippin' Corn. You can find me on a new website. You can find it at sippincorn.com or brianhara.com, BrianHaara, or bourbonjustice.com. All three of those will lead you to the same place, along with Twitter, now Instagram. Thanks, guys, and Facebook.
All he has to do is he writes one book, and then all of a sudden he's all over the digital map. He's everywhere. He's everywhere now.
That's a big step. Right?
Yeah.
Blogger to book writer.
And we got to say thanks to him as well, because he was at the Louisville Bourbon Society meeting tonight, and he was there, shaking hands and kissing babies and signing autographs. And he said, guys, I've got to go. The roundtable starts in 10 minutes. And he booked it on out of there. And now we have the pleasure of having him on the podcast tonight. So,
well, hopefully we have a significant uptick in viewers, and they're on the live chat saying they saw me there, and can actually measure those results. But let's just pretend that they're all watching now.
Well, we're at 70 right now, so we've got a great roll going on. But with that, let's go ahead and keep it going. Blake, are you the Cal Ripken of this? Is that what she said? That basically you've never missed a roundtable.
If you have missed a round table, you are not like me, because I have never missed one. And I'm 26 strong. The most the most what do we call that?
Tenure?
Most guest appearance, most tenured of the Bourbon Pursuit podcast. Mainly just because of the roundtables. But no, I'm Blake from bourboner.com. BOURBONR, and then also sealbox.com, SEELBACHS, just to plug a little bit of everything, but finding on all the social medias and everything.
Do you actually work, Blake? I'm just
yeah, and if you need your taxes done, go to reberfinancial.com. And
I'm pretty sure he doesn't sleep.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the thing that actually I'm missing is, not hobbies or jobs. It's just sleep.
Well, you got that starting 5 of kids over there, so I'm sure it's keeping you.
Yeah, no, we're in a 2-story now though, so it's great. Like I can just lock everybody upstairs, put the baby gates up. There will be no more crying kids in the background. It's
Do you have a
works out
basement?
pretty well. No, not in Florida.
That's the next move.
Too close to sea level. Yeah, I think we got to move further north for that.
Yeah, you got to get the basement.
Yeah, I wish we did. The basement's actually the greatest thing ever because it's like you store whatever you want down there.
Do whatever you want down here. Nobody can see you.
Room for activity.
I'm not even wearing pants.
Yeah.
Nobody's here to see me. This is amazing.
Well, speaking of basements, we've got Nick from Breaking Bourbon on here, who is just now, he's seated in his new basement area that he just got done with his new bourbon shelves and his barrel staves. So Nick, welcome back to the show.
I was admiring the new bar back there.
Yeah, thank you. So
Looks
finally,
great, buddy.
thank you. Yeah, not
But it looks really good.
what's that?
You need a couple more bottles, but
Yeah,
otherwise it
this
looks
is
really
kind
good.
of I'll give you a quick tour.
now.
Right. So I'm Nick from breakingbourbon.com. Everything on social is Breaking Bourbon. I'll throw in a quick promo. We did just kick off a t-shirt sale. So all the t-shirts in our store, 15% off. Use code BB15 to get that. That'll go for a week here. Yeah, so the fun stuff. So yeah, historically, I've just had all my bourbon in a coat closet upstairs. So converted a coat closet to a bourbon closet, and then our bedroom closet, and then some other closets. So been working on the basement for just this summer here. Got it finally done. I left the back is the only thing I did. I hired guys to do the rest, but here I'll give you a quick tour of the bourbon room area here. So sink action over there. Got to be able to wash the glasses. This back here is 2 barrels worth of staves, and then there's lighting. And then really where the bourbon is in the bourbon room over there. So had the guys who installed that kind of really wondering where all the bourbon was going to come from and why there were so many shelves. And so I had it, hidden and locked up too. Like I got these guys coming in the house. I got to keep the bourbon, very safe. You never know, So just happy to finally have a space that's, more conducive to, I guess, hanging out than just the coat closet and the kitchen table. So
That's
That's
awesome.
why I just go to Kenny's basement.
Yeah. One
It's a
question
lot easier.
about
and
the
we used
wall.
Kenny's basement for a long time. So I was like, I need a spot like that.
I really just like my white blinds,
There's bourbon behind there, though, right, Ryan?
That's right.
Question about the wall. Do they have to like bend those stakes at all, or that's just the natural curve of them and it fits on the wall?
Yeah, that's the natural curve, and it actually worked out perfect. It was 2 staves wide, and so they were 2 and 2, and then I cut and I positioned them out so they alternated, and then I've got pieces of wood chunk on the ends there, so they actually stick out, and they're at the right distance out that they would be at center. So it was a bit of a challenge figuring out how to do all that. I did end up having to just do finishing screws. I had tried gluing them, tried different things, and they just wouldn't stay up. So finally I just said, okay, they're just going in with screws, and I got to get this done. So
It's awesome.
Hey,
All
real
right.
quick, I'm moving on to next pour, Pappy 20.
Oh
What
man.
this junk is all about.
Terry, I grabbed isn't this one of your favorites?
Which Saz 18 is it tanked?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's my
I
jam.
only-
What year? I can't see the
Any of
year.
the new ones. This one is 2013.
That's a tank.
Ah, beautiful.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's delicious.
Well, cool. And then we've also got a version of the Roundtable. Somebody who hasn't been on here before. So David Jennings of Rare Bird 101, welcome to the show.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome.
I'm David. Hey, I'm with Rare Bird 101. It's a wild turkey enthusiast site, reviews, some articles, timeline, all kinds of information. You can find me on Instagram at Rare Bird 101. I'm on Twitter at rbird 101. And I apologize for my voice. I have a cold, but I felt like it'd be important to be here. So I'll try to manage here.
Sounds good. Feel free to save your voice if you need to when we get to your section.
All righty.
And that might also be putting the punchline a little bit ahead of what we're wanting to do tonight, so you kind of have an idea. But
Real quick,
What
just
is it,
want to
Kerry?
say
Only because it's
that,
your birthday. Only because it's
thank
your
you.
birthday.
That I think if you were to ask who is the hottest blogger person on Twitter when it comes to bourbon, I think Rare Bird probably is that
Oh
person right
man,
now.
yeah.
Are we saying
I
look
appreciate that, Gary.
like trending? Because
I agree. I mean, you're hitting it out of the park.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate that.
Fantastic information.
I like his hair.
Thank you.
I guess I should follow you now.
I mean, I think we had talked about already, like we're going to do like a bourbon studs calendar. Is that what it is? Like it's whoever wants to be Mr. March, go ahead and stand up.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Seriously, that's too kind. You guys have been doing this for a long time. I've been following all y'all, and it really means a lot to me. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Cool.
All right. Well, now you're in the mix of it, so just don't screw it up. All right. So it's all good. Our first topic tonight is we're gonna be talking about distillery expansions. There seems to be a lot of money that's been floating around, and we've been talking about this for a while, of seeing a lot of influx of capital that's being pushed everywhere. And the first one we're going to talk about is Heaven Hill, who has announced a $65 million expansion to their visitor center. This is not just their visitor center. It's actually going to be, I think it was around 15 million that's going to be going into the quote unquote, the Bourbon Heritage Center, but that is actually going to be rebranded. We have no idea what it's going to be, but it's going to be interesting because this is one of the first stops, or one of the places that originally had been originated as part of the Kentucky Bourbon Trail back in 2004. But other things that they had noted is that a lot of this is actually going to go into the distillery in itself and expanding to create new warehouses. It's going to actually have an updated bottling line. There's other things that they had mentioned about something that's going to be pretty interesting. I kind of want to get your all's thoughts on this too. It's called a You Do Bourbon hands-on lab where you can bottle your own bourbon. So I don't know. Do you think it's going to be sort of like a Maker's Mark-esque experience there when you get to dip your own bottle? Anybody want to kind of take it onto that of what you can gain from it?
I think the Heritage Center might be the lamest tour on the. I don't know. Is anybody with me? Like you go there,
it's lame. Yeah,
there's no distillery. You watch a video, and then you have like this high-end tasting experience. It's not that high-end. I don't know. It's just they needed it, but I think it just shows you how
sitting around the big
circle, big tub.
I kind of like that it's hidden though. I never knew it was back there till I took the tour.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's pretty lame.
But it just shows you too that how much money these distilleries are making and sitting on, and they're just trying to spend as much as possible to save on taxes and corporate dollars. And it's like it's just they're making unfathomable amount of money, and they just can't spend it fast enough. I mean, Heaven Hill's already put up how much they spent on a new still in Louisville, and then they put up 50,000 barrel warehouses, and now they're doing this. It's like holy cow, you know.
But that's also a sign of the times of business being good.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like
they're all expanding
years ago too with expansions where who was it? It was like Maker's Mark had a big expansion, Beam had a big expansion. Who else?
Of course, Four Roses doubled it, mirrored their production.
Yeah, so I think Heaven Hill just looks and sees, hey, we're kind of behind the times here, and we should be the centerpiece of all this. With the Maker's Mark, with dipping the wax, that's a pretty cool experience. I don't know what the experience is going to be at Heaven Hill. Like they can't let you dump it straight from a barrel and then sell it to you. So I don't know. I'll be interested to see.
At Beam before, I've done the thing where they for the Knob Creek, get the same day. You dump it and bring it home. So I guess it's going to be kind of close to that.
How they did that? They must have like pre-run those through distribution or something. Although I guess if they're allowed a certain amount from the distillery, they can sell those. I don't know.
There's no special.
Knob Creek, at least there's wax on it.
I think there's one thing they need to put there, and that's a roller coaster. And if they put a roller coaster, I feel like
we'll get to that with the next one. I think.
You're getting ahead of yourself, man.
Sorry.
I think, in all seriousness, where it is now is experience. So anything you can do to bring some kind of experience that's different, that's unique, that lets you feel like you're involved in the process in some way. I mean, I think that's really the name of the game because it's become a tourist destination. And so it's why would you go there yeah, I think you need an experience of some kind. And so I think they're trying to think of different ways to bring people out, to bring an experience there that's different than what the other ones are.
I think the problem too is friends will ask me, "Hey, I'm headed to the Bourbon Trail. What places should I see?" And a couple years ago, it was pretty easy to name 4 or 5 places. Now you're getting to the point where you're going to have to make a week out of it in order to see all these places that you want to visit. Everybody's expanding. Everybody's opening up new places. And I don't know, at some point, I almost feel like you're going to have too many distilleries that you need to visit in a trip.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's kind of the goal that the Bourbon Trail wants. You want to have a little bit of a repeatable business. You go, and I've never done it, but Ryan talks about all the time. You go to Sonoma, you go to wine country. There's no way that you can hit every single place, and so it gives you an opportunity to say, like, all right, well, we had a great time. We'll come back another year or 2 years or 3 years or whatever that is. And so it does give the tourism industry to be able to do that. And I also think one of the things that Ryan had brought up at the very beginning, it's harsh to call it lame, but it is one of those tours that there's not a whole lot of meat on the bone there. There's not a whole lot to do except kind of go around, look at some pictures, hear some things, and then you can get a tasting at the end of it.
Kenny, is there any description of this make your own bourbon type of experience?
Not from what we saw. I didn't go to the media event to be able to kind of get some more insider information about it, but it's going to be one thing to kind of look to see what they're going to do, as well as one thing that was in the press release is they're also hopping on the cocktail train. They're looking at building a rooftop bar that's going to be overlooking all the rick houses and stuff like that too. So it seems like the cocktail train is something that everybody seems to be hopping on now to try and gain a little bit more an edge at the marketplace when it comes to that too.
Yeah,
I think that expands it out.
Yeah.
Well, I know that there are there's some Scotch distilleries that have a similar type of experience where you can go and fill your own bottle, and they'll even have a custom label. And I'm not as familiar with Scotch as I am bourbon, but I know that I've seen that before, and maybe they're trying to do a similar type of experience. And I could see that being a big draw if it was done right.
Mm. Yeah,
and this is another thing.
People, like those Makers Mark barrels, people. I'm amazed at how many people are like, I'm going down to Makers to get my barrel that was barreled, from the Ambassador Club. How people just walk over that stuff. I'm like,
they grabbed it from behind the counter for mine.
But people do that, so I guess the common, it's for the common people. I don't know.
But question for you, so we all kind of get I'm sure people asking, hey, I'm going to the going to the Bourbon Trail. Which distillery should I hit? Is Heaven Hill ever in your top 3 of suggestions?
Honestly, when I sell people and they're staying downtown, I typically say the Evan Williams Bourbon Experience because it is something that's unique. It kind of wraps it all up into one. Yeah. They definitely take a little bit more of like a technology edge to it, where there's lights and there's film and there's like
it's kind of Disneyland, though.
Yeah, like hologramic figures.
Yeah,
it's interesting. It's definitely different than just going and looking at another rick house where you get the same old 51% corn tour.
Mm-hmm. and the char tour.
I mean, absolutely. I think the only time I send people over there is it's like, hey, they may be dropping Willet available, or I say, hey, go over to Willet and then just drop by the Bourbon Heritage Center, and it's like they're the second leading producer of bourbon, but yet we're all kind of like, tours pretty lame. So I'm sure they do
have a tour that's like kind of bottling behind the scenes. Now that's impressive. But it's kind of, you have to pay for that, and it's rare to do that. But that's a pretty cool tour because you'll be amazed at the production and automation there. It's insane.
But I think you have to be born in Bardstown to be able to get on that tour. Is that
raised in Bardstown?
Raised in Bardstown.
Yeah, I guess my question is with all these these experiences going on, do they have a real strong correlation between doing that and bottle sales, or is it more of just well, I see the other guys doing it, so I need to do it too, or just forward thinking, I think this is where it's all going, so we got to get ahead of this, to be there. I'd be curious if there's really any kind of correlation there, or if it's just more of a defensive move or just a move to spend money because you need to do something, as Ryan was talking about.
I think about 5 years ago, or not even 5 years ago, whenever we started this 3 years ago, a lot of the distilleries went to Napa and Sonoma to like for like a week to kind of get a feel for like what people are doing there. And when you go there, when you go to a winery, you spend about 4 to 6 hours because you're like, you do a tasting, you do, you know, the tour, then you sit on the patio and listen to somebody play music, you grab lunch. And so I think they all went there and saw like, hey, we have an opportunity to gain people and be here for hours upon hours, and let's try to do that here as well.
Mm-hmm. Which makes sense.
And give them some credit too. I mean, I think they probably identified what we're complaining about right now. You know, they don't have a distillery in Bardstown to take you through. They've got a room with a big circle in it, and that's about it.
Yep.
And so they had to think of something. And frankly, I'm going to go there. I mean, I want to pour my own bottle. I mean, I'll do it right now. That's the only time you've been able to do that is on a bourbon affair. Some of those things that they've done, you've been able to pour your own bottle it, and bring it home that day. So this is something new, and I think kudos to them for realizing that what they have right now is pretty lame.
Yeah, but you know, they already figured out what gets people to come by there. They put out stuff in the gift shop you can't get anywhere else. You know, between them and Willet. I mean,
but you're there for 15 minutes to see if the old fits 14 years there or not, and then you go to Willet, and then you're out.
Yeah.
So they want to keep you there, like the Napa story.
Make it a bigger. I mean, I see that. Yeah.
I don't think it's just keeping you there either, too. I think it's the connection with the brand. You know, what are you gonna internalize, really? Yeah, and I do think you got to be there for a period of time. So not to say, you know, you need something that's going to keep you there in the sense of get you connected with the brand, which you're not going to get in the gift shop. You know, you want to feel that. So when you go home and buy something, you're now recognizing that. I can't tell you how many people I talk to that are maybe on the fringes of bourbon, and they maybe only buy one thing, and it's that one thing that they had some experience with at some point, and just that's what stuck out, and that's what they buy. You know, when they go to the store.
I mean, especially you look at Willet, like their label is awesome, right? And like you're going to Willet, you're leaving with a Willet. You got the beautiful label on it, and you can associate with it. Heaven Hill, you go there and you leave, and you're like, what bourbons does Heaven Hill even make?
Everything. Yeah.
I know it's true, but you don't know that until you ask somebody and realize that, you know, Elijah Craig and all that.
You know, and they got a ton of that in the gift shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's also the one thing that they've been trying to do a lot recently, as Nick had kind of mentioned, is that they are having more of these rare releases or gift shop only releases to kind of make it of a destination. That's what you want to go there to actually get those bottles. But yeah, they got to do something to keep people around for more than 5 to 10 minutes to look behind the counter and say, well, all right, driving back to Louisville. So they've got to figure out some way to kind of capitalize on that. And honestly, if you look at what's the one tour that everybody says that you need to go do that takes hours, that it could be analogous to Napa, it's going to be the Buffalo Trace Hard Hat Tour.
Absolutely, yeah.
Where you get pretty much in depth. You go everywhere. You see bottling lines. You can probably like hammer out your own bung. You can do all this kind of stuff. And so when you see something like that, I think that's probably what people should probably at least try to emulate for a lot of this. And you could sell that for a $30, $40 tour to most people that are coming through here as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I think let's go ahead and we'll kind of kick it on to the next subject, since we talk about Heaven Hill a lot, but really the big news when it comes to expansions and it comes to new things and maybe even possible roller coasters in the future is the new bourbon park that is coming to Bardstown, Kentucky for Kentucky Owl. The Stoli Group has announced that it is going to be working with, I'm going to totally butcher this, but the Shigeru Band Architects, and they're designing a new distillery and tourism experience that is going to be a $150 million lakeside bourbon complex in a former quarry in Bardstown. So Stoli bought out the Kentucky Owl brand back in January 2017. And of course, Dixon, who's been on the show plenty of times, is going to be the, I don't know, maybe the guy that's galloping all around in his white horse, like shaking hands with people while he's there. It's going to be interesting to kind of see
with those the pyramids. He'd be on a camel.
But yeah, because you say camel, because if anybody didn't check it or look at any of the pictures, go to the Bourbon Pursuit Facebook page, and I had loaded a video that came from Stoli of a video rendering of what the park was actually going to look like. I mean, it looks phenomenal. It looks amazing. That there's 3 pyramids. There's rack houses. There's barrels that are being stored in the pyramids. There's these crazy ramps and stuff. And the whole time, not only that, you enter through a train station. And I'm gonna plug this to you, Ryan, because you know better than anybody else. Where's there a train in Bardstown where's this going to come from?
Well, there is a train that runs right through the quarry, but this ain't going to happen. I mean, because I'm amazed when you show me the video that, like, hell, it took Bardstown like 10 years to approve Cracker Barrel to get in there. Like, they didn't want a Cracker Barrel sign. They're not going to let 3 pyramids in, but maybe, I don't know.
Money talks, man.
When you showed me the design, I was like, man, this is not getting past City Council or the Historical Society, but maybe it will because, like you said, the money. But there is a train that runs through there, and the dinner train can go through there. So it's pretty smart for them to integrate that if they can. I hope it all happens. Very cool. I'm just skeptical.
I think it's a cool idea. I think the problem you're almost turning into Disneyland, right? Like you're 10 years ago, if you wanted to go do something cool, you and your wife would go to the Napa, California. Now it's like everybody that I know is going to the Bourbon Trail, and you keep building more and more attractions, get more people out there. It's going to lose some of the quality and the quaintness of going to the Bourbon Trail. I don't know. I mean, I'd love to ride a roller coaster, but I think it cheeses it out a little bit.
Okay, so if anybody doesn't know, there's not a roller coaster in the plans. It's not part of there. However, they did have a concert venue that was going to be inside of here, as well as some hotels and retail and different kinds of things, because it's a pretty sizable place from the way it looked. But when I look at this, and I look at the type of quality that even went into making this video, I'm like, well, that was at least $500,000 to even do this video. There's no way 150 millions could be enough to do this park. But I think it looked beautiful. It's really cool. And I mean, Carrie, you kind of just said it yourself that everybody's got to kind of make something that wants to stick out and makes you want to be there. I think this is an interesting angle that people are going to want to come and see something completely off the rails of what you would see if you go anywhere else.
Yeah, I know, but you want to see bourbon. I mean, you want to see warehouses, and you want to see a distillery and a giant mash. You want to see the
old stuff, right?
But I mean, how many warehouses and distilleries and stills can you see before you're like, okay, seen one, seen them all, and
they all do the same thing, right?
Yeah, I feel like that'll be a guaranteed visit from every person who comes to the Bourbon Trail, because it's like, all right, we've seen all the traditional ones. Maybe we hit Makers and Old Forester or whoever it is. Now let's go to the Kentucky Owl one. I mean, not to say that I love the idea, but I love how kind of crazy it is, and I think it'll turn out really well because it'll just be the one that it's kind of like the can't miss on the Distillery Trail. So
I think the purists are going to hate it. They are going to hate it, and they're going to say,
think they absolutely will.
Yeah, but they won't be paying the bills.
The purists. Yeah,
sure, they'll be paying the bills, but they're going to be like, yeah, go ahead to your Luxor pool party and beatbox.
I think they're looking for
bourbon.
Looking for like the next 2 to 3 generations of bourbon drinkers.
Sure. Yeah. They're going for a different crowd. That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if that's the one that, sorry, Blake.
No, go ahead. I'm done.
That's the one that brings people out to Kentucky, but then, they're there and they, let's go to Buffalo Trace. Let's go to Willett. They still have something that Kentucky Owl doesn't have, that facility is not going to have. And they have the history there, in terms of just what's there and how long it's been there and what they've been doing, So I think even if people are first drawn to the Kentucky Owl, facility, which I definitely want to see what they're talking about there. There's no reason why they're not going to, check out the other ones too, and maybe learn something along the way. So, hey, it's almost great advertising and marketing for everybody else, because it's going to bring them out there and bring them to start looking around to see what else they want to do.
It just shows you where bourbon's going. You talk about the old distillery. It used to be the working man's, now it's just going to be like more geared towards a higher end, consumer and higher end experience. So it just shows you kind of what you can expect for it to keep going towards.
Well, it's geared towards making money instead of geared towards a passion for bourbon, but that's a whole different conversation.
But I think you can combine a lot of those things. And I think that's what they're trying to do, is they're trying to combine a lot of those things that, You know, I don't know if it'd be that big, but you know, you'll have a Montgomery Gentry concert inside of here, and then you know you can go and do all this sort of stuff at one time.
Montgomery Gentry's coming.
Like Alabama Shake.
All right, Alabama Shakes. I don't know, whoever. Just kind of
just a random one. Didn't he pass away recently? I mean,
I have no idea. I don't pay that much attention to country music, but
His brother
but anyway, I think they're trying to take just a different angle, and as Blake hinted at, they're looking for a newer consumer, and this is one thing that Fred always mentions is how do you hit those fringe consumers? How do you hit those people that aren't us, right? Like we live, die, and breathe bourbon.
Yeah, we're already sold on it.
Who are these other people?
But yeah, there's a whole other part of the market that they're just getting their toes wet with this, and they have an opportunity to see Jack Johnson at Kentucky Owl Park. Who knows? Like it's
Or Skrillex.
yeah, or
whatever the hip
Skrillex.
kids are listening to these days.
Hey, by the way, real quick, I just want to make a pitch as we're talking about old bourbon. This is what I moved on to. This is 1977 Old Weller Original.
Should be.
This is
drinking at
ridiculous.
Carrie's house tonight.
Yeah,
This is
Yeah.
insane.
Why can't we do a live episode from Carrie's again?
So, Terry, you prefer that to the Eagle Rare? Do you have
This is the best thing I've ever had. Right
Okay.
here.
Ever.
This right here. Ever. This
Well,
is the best thing I've ever had.
maybe
Especially-
if things go well, then this train will actually go through Louisville all the way down to Atlanta, and we could have just taken the train from Kentucky Owl Park down to
Let's
Atlanta.
bring the train down. Come on, ride that train.
But another question I kind of want to throw at you all as well is, you know, we all know the Kentucky Owl brand. We know the bourbon. We know the rye. Can $300 bourbons at a very limited releases and $200 ryes really sustain something like this long term? Or do you think they've got to have something else in the hopper where they're going to come out with the next 17 brands to be able to kind of have this bottom line to be able to
Well,
take
there's
care of that?
already there's been filings. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Rayburn.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say that I know that there's been at least one TTB filing for a new Kentucky Owl product. I don't remember the name of it right off the top of my head, but it has some type of historical throwback there. I mean, did anyone else see that, or was that just me?
Yeah, it was. Oh shoot, what was
I
the
don't
name
remember
of
the
it?
name of that now. I did see that.
Yeah.
I don't think it was age dated or anything like that, but
No.
I think you are correct. And
And so it shows me that they're branching out and they're trying to have a wider product base, and I think that's smart. I mean, they're going to need to have some midline products. I think. I mean, you can't just build your brand completely on high end stuff. At least I don't think you can.
I agree.
Right.
Brews and bourbon confiscated. That sounds familiar.
Yeah, confiscated.
That's it. That's it.
In the chat there. Thanks.
Yeah, they were really playing up like the 1869 Dixon's great grandfather. I forget what the story was, but yeah.
It's got to have a story. I mean, it's bourbon. It's got to have a story. You know?
Because it isn't Stoli. Because and you think about like the Buffalo Trace model. Stoli can probably push a lot of other products that aren't necessarily bourbon by having the Kentucky Owl brand.
Right. The halo. Build a halo. Right.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know if they necessarily need that daily drinker Kentucky Owl brand, but which I don't think they would want to, because I think that could kind of not cheapen the brand, but yeah, dilute it a little bit. But they could come up with other whiskey and bourbon brands that would also be in the portfolio.
Select.
It all depends. Stoli needs to sell a lot, but some of these other brands who, like an Old Carter, who I believe it's only one owner. They don't have investors, as far as I know. They can make a living off of just $200 to $300 bottles. And people seem to be in no,
but they don't have a theme park,
Yeah, they don't have a theme park.
A lot of money on those, or is it really the quantity, like the Jim Beam, that they're making all their money on? I mean, is it? I've always wondered that. How much are they going to take in on a $200 bottle? If they got fancy marketing, they got to pay the artist, they got to pay the
distributor.
Beam's making their money on white label.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Like, on the other stuff, but that leads it. I think of Buffalo Trace is the best example with the antique collection. You know, I think that leads everything, and then it elevates the rest of
You
the
learn
brand.
about the profile and you learn about the company. Yeah, they can't make that much from antique collection.
I mean, just do the math on what's there and what they make on it. It's not a big number for them, you know.
Jurors told me Willett Family Estate's like less than 10% of their business, you know, or not even that much. I think it said 5%, like, of their whole business. He's like, this is just for, you know,
That's volume or dollars?
dollars.
Say.
Really, dollars.
Wow.
Well, what makes up a majority of it then? The heavy
Old Bardstown and everything else.
Yeah.
Johnny Drum,
Drums are
Rowan's Creek.
The Willett, just regular Willett pot still is their biggest seller.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, people still wait in lines for the pot still.
I just saw it. Somebody posted in the Bourboner Facebook group. I had to delete the picture because it was of a Total Wine saying 1 per bottle of Willett pot still, and you know, it's like that's where we are. Willett pot
That's where we are.
That's where we are.
Are we gonna start like a new segment called, you know, how low can we get this week in bourbon?
Guys, I got a lead on Weller Special Reserve.
Yeah.
Keep it.
I just want to drive there.
All right, so let's move on to our next segment. And our next segment is one that has become pretty of a recent fad. You know, we've had a few podcasts about it. It's what makes people go absolutely batshit on secondary, and that's the craze for stickers. And so our friends of the show at Superfly Bourbon Club, they came out with a Knob Creek pick for their own private barrel club. However, they did something pretty unique. They looked at an old retro label of Knob Creek and printed off new stickers and actually put them on top of the new Knob Creek labels. And so I guess when we look at this is, you know, we want to get a time in from Brian here first of, is anything legally wrong about this, about being able to do this at all?
Not if the distiller lets you. I mean, it's up to them. I mean, if you are using their trademarked images and they let you do it, you know, you're in the clear. So, but I'm really surprised that Beam's letting folks do this.
I don't think anybody's letting anybody do anything, because I think we all can come to an agreement that the distilleries don't give a shit. Like, they're selling their bourbon at the end of the day, and if we want to put a sticker on it, okay, well, cool.
They don't give a shit. That means they're letting them do it. I mean, if you're using a trademarked image that's owned by the brand, then if the distillery doesn't say something about it, then they're giving you the license to do it.
It's possible they may not even know that it happened.
I feel like they know, or somebody knows. I mean, I'm sure like Mark Brown's not checking to see if anybody's gold dipping, you know, in Weller Antique or something. But I think they know. I actually had Wade Woodard message me and said 27 CFR 5.33 labels shall not obscure any markings or information required by permanently marked in the bottle or by U.S. Treasury Department, i.e. the labels aren't able to cover up any of the, you know, like health warning, content size, proof, all that stuff. If they do, they're out of compliance. But the trick is that's at retail. So for retail stores doing that and then selling it, that could be an issue. But if it's just a private club who grabs it, and, you know, it kind of comes down to what Brian was saying with like the trademark infringement. You know, if somebody's using the trademark and would be seen as profiting from it. I don't know, Brian, what's the rules on that? Does it have to be seen as them profiting or just as them using it?
You just can't use it. I mean, at all. Can't use it at all. And the thing about the Lanham Act and trademarks is that it requires the owners of those marks to be vigilant in stamping out any unauthorized use. And that's why you see so many lawsuits about it.
Well, I mean, that's just photography trademarks in general, though. You know, that's if you use it on your blog and you didn't get the rights to that picture, you can get in trouble for it.
That's right.
So I think that's sort of the same thing that you're alluding to.
Right.
I guess I'm trying to distinguish, Brian, between the two things we're talking about. So we're talking about something that's trademarked, somebody buys a bottle or a group buys bottles and they use an image that's trademarked on it. and now that gets out wherever for people to see it. What if it's not? What if it's not a trademark image? You're still covering all that up, doing whatever you want to it. Aren't you then just basically modifying something you already own? And the fact that it goes up on an illegal market and gets sold there is a whole other thing. I mean, is there an issue there as well, or what's the distinction?
I don't think, I don't think there's an issue once it gets to, I don't think secondary is the issue here. I think the issue is what the brand, what the distillery, what the owner lets private groups put on it. And if they let the private group toy with the trademarked images, then I think they're putting themselves at risk a little bit.
Well, let's not talk about it just from the trademark images aspect. Let's talk about it from just covering up a label, right? And Matt Cusick in the chat actually brings up a pretty good point. He goes, if you look at the Bottled and Bond Act, people were relabeling bottles of booze. And he goes, I know this is not as serious, and this is just kind of like nothing to that extent, but he goes, this could possibly be a slippery slope.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my thing. I think that, first of all, we talk about legalities with labels and trademarks and stuff like that. We're in a hobby where we're probably pushing the boundaries of what's legal every single day in terms of sales and what we do. I also think that the latest craze, honestly, right now it's all about the sticker game, and everyone's going to push the envelope, and everyone's going to push harder to make their sticker even better than the club before them. And it's going to keep going until some distillery puts their foot down and says there'll be no more. You'll never get another single barrel of our product, put a strange sticker on it. And
someone's going to ruin it for all of us.
Everyone's going to keep pushing the boundary because they want to push up the value of it on the secondary market for their own club. Period. Bottom line.
Amen.
Well, good. I think that's a good way to kind of bring in our next portion of this, because one person here on the roundtable, they just recently experienced the same exact thing. So David from Rarebird 101 had his 100, what do you call it, a century in one, or one in a century, one in a century Russell's Reserve pick that he had done with himself, another store, as well as Eddie Russell, actually picking this barrel. And you know, we had kind of talked about beforehand, he wanted something that was very unique, something completely different. He had worked with a few different people. The idea behind it was to be something that was special for Jimmy and Eddie for their 101 years of continued service. And a few people got their hands on these bottles and immediately flipped them for insane amounts. But I want to hear the story directly from David himself.
Okay. First of all, what I did was completely outside of the sticker game. That word or those two words to me really mean nothing. I'm not trying to compete with anyone. I found out earlier this year, because I had been asking Campari several times, you know, are you going to have a 101st anniversary bottle? And I got a little bit of the, we don't know. And then I finally got it, no, we're not going to. And so I thought, well, that's kind of sad, because that's a big accomplishment and a one-time accomplishment. There will never be another 101, anniversary, especially of this nature. And so I thought, well, someone ought to do something about this. And I thought, well, if I pick a barrel this year, I told myself, if I pick a barrel this year, I'm going to make the theme of it the 101st anniversary. It was sincere in every way. And so when I finally got on board for a barrel pick through Lexington Beverage Outlet in Columbia, South Carolina, I'd asked them if they wouldn't mind me making a label that would be a tribute to the 101st anniversary, and they were fine with that. So, excuse me, I was talking to some friends of mine, and Bryant recommended that we use a CGF kind of theme. And I thought that's a great idea. That's a great idea. And so I came up, I kind of sketched a little drawing, and I put it up on my blog. It's horrible, but I came up with the 1 in a century, and I shot it to a friend of mine, Ryan, who's a graphic designer, and he did an excellent job making a CGF, style sticker. And I thought, this is just beautiful, because Eddie is a huge fan of CGF, and I thought, what? I mean, it's such an iconic label and bottle. I thought this is it. This would be a great way to be a tribute. And so all that was decided a while back. And I even, I was careful about it, because I wanted to make sure I didn't infringe on any trademarks. So I didn't use the flying turkey. I used the turkey from my website. And then I also made sure that Eddie was on board with me having his name on the label, because I did not want to do something that he did not feel comfortable with, and he was fine with that. And so I decided this would be a special bottle for patrons through my Patreon site, and then the store would have its allocation. And my Patreon kind of grew there, and so I ended up eating probably 70%, or more of the share. And it was a very short barrel; it was like 102 bottles. So the store had a few cases to sell. And we thought that maybe it would last a couple of days, maybe a week or two. I had no idea that it would blow up the way it did. And they sold out in like 2 or 3 hours. And there were people that wanted them, and they couldn't even get to their lunch break, and I hated it. And I just hoped that it went to the right people. And I was surprised to find, kind of not surprised, but, someone sent me a picture. I'm not on Facebook. They sent me a picture of a post where they were offering it for $400. And it really kind of stunned me, especially because there was a picture of Eddie included where we had gifted, I'd given Eddie a bottle of it. And he had said, he had put a post up, as kind of a thank you. And it was very kind. And to see that included in as a sales pitch, like, Eddie loves this barrel or whatever. And to be honest with you guys, the barrel is really nothing incredibly special. I mean, I picked the most unique one I had in front of me. And that's what I went with. And for someone to kind of take that and turn it into a sales pitch and make a lot of money off of it real quick, when there were plenty of other people that wanted it for the right reasons, it just it hurt a little bit. I'm not anti-secondary. I mean, I'm not a fool. I mean, you can see my website. There's plenty of vintage bottles on there. I think that there's a healthy secondary, and then there's an unhealthy secondary. And there's no way to really draw hard lines and figure out, definitively what makes something good or bad secondary. It's kind of like there's an obscenity test that's the Stewart obscenity test, where it's basically like, I know it when I see it. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of the same thing I use on the secondary. I know when I see a absurd, offer, an absurd pitch, and that was absurd to me. And then there was another one that was similar price, $350 or something like that. And it was just, I can't stop, but I felt like I needed to do something about it. So I put up a blog post about it, and I tried to be as tasteful as I could, and just letting everybody know that, there was a meaning behind this bottle. It wasn't a money grab. It wasn't a sticker game. It was nothing of that sort. The store made very little off this. They priced it at retail. It was all done in the most sincere way, and my supporters were so happy about it. And it just kind of it really put and I was sick anyway, so it's like I'm sick. I'm getting all this news about this, and I'm like, oh my God. And, it kind of spiraled out. But I can't do anything about the secondary other than just sit there and try to say my piece with it, which is, please don't, sell Russell's Reserve single barrels or Four Roses single barrels or any of these picks for hundreds of dollars. I mean, they're worth $50 to $100 or something at most. And depending, and especially when you haven't even tasted it. I mean, the people flipping the stuff, no one's even tasted this thing, So anyway, I feel strongly that it's getting a little out of hand just because people want a sticker. I actually had an idea. I thought about having a bunch of these stickers printed without the barrel information on it, and just saying, anybody wants these stickers, here you go. You can have them. You can have your own one in a century. You can have your own 101 anniversary bottle. Stick it on the shelf, Russell's. Have it.
Your sticker was done in a way that's respectful to the brand. I think most of the stickers nowadays don't give a shit about the brand. They just want to make more money for their group. So nothing wrong with what you did, man. You made something that was respectful for the group.
Tell you what, your recent post in that bottle, I mean, it's knocking it out of the park. And anyone listening has got to right now follow Rare Bird 101. I mean, this is good stuff.
That's too much. It got me down for a little bit there, and I just let it go because you can't control it. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not anti-secondary. I don't want to be a hypocrite or anything like that. But I do think it is ridiculous to walk into a store and buy a $60 bottle and then walk out and say, now I'm going to make $400 off this thing. It's a little bit much, especially when no one's tasted it, and who knows what it is. And I'll tell you guys, I mean, I'm sipping on this this Barrels and Brews Haters Gonna Hate right now. Another cool sticker, but it's good juice. I mean, I think it's better than my pick. I mean, I'm just going to be honest with you.
That one's gonna go for 400 now.
450.
Sorry, Justin. Oh man, but,
David, you just sold all yours on Craigslist, or was that?
Now that Bourbon Community Roundtable Buffalo with Trace, though, that's something that ought to go.
My dad had bought a few of the one of the century, and I had there were a couple people that really wanted one, and I thought, well, I need to see if I can get at least one more, for some of these special people. And so I asked him, I said, hey, would you mind if I could buy, one of your bottles, back from you so I could get it to someone special? And he said, yeah, I'll give you the family discount, $250.
Wise man.
It was all in jest, of course. But yeah, it was crazy. I mean, I thought that people would like the sticker, but I had no idea it would get that insane. So now I've got patrons receiving their bottles this week, and I just hope and pray that these folks they hang on. If you want to gift it, that's fine. If you want to trade it for something equal, I mean, that's fine. But I hope that you open it and enjoy it, because that's what it was picked for,
My man.
Yeah, it is true how that's become. Dave makes a good point of like nobody's even opened it or tried it.
Right?
Reviews out, so we're really just trading based on a sticker alone. Where
that's right.
That's like the collector's market of the collector's market, where you're buying all these different picks just to say, hey, I got this one or that one, or
and really, and to folks out there doing this, look. If anything, please don't throw pictures of the master distiller on there and make it like it's their, favorite or whatever. It just, Eddie had nothing to do with that. And that bottle was gifted to Eddie just out of pure appreciation for the day that we had. And, I really hated that it went that way. And I have no ill will against these people that have posted these. I just hope that they take from it and learn from it. And maybe everybody else will learn a little something from it too. That it won't go down this road again. It probably will, but let's hope that at least some people see this a little bit differently in the future.
Yeah, you sound like a true Christian. Like some of us would be like, I hope he just dies in a car crash tomorrow.
Well, it's not so much that as I see more good in this hobby than I see bad.
That's gruesome, right?
I see more good in this than bad. I really do.
I love good. Hey, by the way, I poured this as my last one. I think I'm starting to slur now, but I poured Michter's 20.
You only got 38 to go.
Yeah, I think I've begun to slow down. But, I will say it really got good at this point in the bottle, just so you know. I don't think it was as good up here.
It's good with Coke.
Right here. It is really good with Coke. I'm going to mix it with some. But I don't know if I need any more. Let's get something else.
All right. Back to topic.
That's very smart.
Hey, about the old fits. Let's do the old fits 20 year.
Okay. Back to topic. I got to edit this, Carrie, so quit fucking me up here.
He'll
All
hope
right.
you die in a car crash.
Yeah. But I think this is kind of a good lesson that a lot of people can kind of take away from this, is that we've talked about it for a while. People really get caught up in the sticker game. And Brett Atlas had mentioned on a previous podcast, it's almost like collecting baseball cards. You kind of want to have all these and lined up and you see them. But really you're not buying a bottle based off the juice. You're buying a bottle based off the sticker. And it is a very harsh reality that we're all dealing with, to kind of see this the way that it goes, because at the end of the day, that barrel that somebody chose that put an awesome sticker on was probably a barrel that somebody else passed on. And that's the nature of what it is.
Yep.
That's right.
I got burnt out on the limited releases, and I was like, store picks are the new unicorns, and now I'm like, oh, now single barrels are getting ruined and some store picks are getting ruined. It's like, why do we have to taint everything?
You just have to taste them, and you have to kind of know who you're buying from. And I'll be honest with you guys, that was my very first barrel pick. I mean, it's not like I'm some ace that's been going out there and picking honey barrels for 10 years. You know, that's just not me. It was clearly.
You might be the first honest guy in bourbon.
I don't see
No.
you on this sticker on here.
Well,
I don't see you on this Bourbon Community Roundtable sticker. So, yeah.
Look at that. Show that again.
Did you run for House or Senate recently? Sound like you did.
Me?
No, you sound very good. Just good. Like you need this. You are what our country needs, Rare Bird.
Oh,
Man,
I
you
just
have a
want people to drink more wild turkey. That's all. You know, that's my thing. You know.
Watch out, Rare Bird. Carrie's coming.
Yeah, he's just showering you with compliments tonight.
Well, you know, when I'm with
He's
Fred
had a
Minnick,
few.
Fred Minnick just insults me the whole time, so I feel like I gotta be the other side of the coin and compliment.
Yeah, I hate
somebody
that I
else.
missed Fred. I'd love to talk to him one day.
Carrie, if you really like Rare Bird, go pull the wild turkey from over your right shoulder.
You know, I found that in a Boston gas station.
Is that an 80 or 86?
That is a
80 proof or 86
proof.
point? Okay.
I think it's
They
a
both have the
91
brown
or
label.
92, but it was just sitting in a gas station in Boston, and it was like $18.99 on the label. I was like, oh, I'll
Hey,
take that.
there you go.
That should be the next pour.
I think I'm done. After this.
So Rare Bird, can you do a Bill Clinton imitation while you've got a head cold?
Well, let's see. I got to find something that he would say, like, you
I
know,
never
depends
had
on what the
relations.
definition of is or something.
There you go.
You appreciate that one, I'm sure, Brian.
Absolutely.
He does.
You know what? I do want to mention, though, and Brian, I'd like to get your input on this. I've noticed there were 2 or 3 Russell's labels, and I don't know who the group was, but they had cask strength, you know, on the label, which is kind of a misnomer in a way because, you know, with American whiskey, you usually say barrel proof, and cask strength is a little bit more on the Scotch side, but whatever. I know Makers, I think, does cask strength. But what was funny is I guess they're using that ATF ruling where you have the 2-point variance.
Right,
but I asked Eddie about it because there was this rumor going around that, if it's within the 2 points, you know, Wild Turkey doesn't add any water. And so I just straight up asked Eddie, and he said it goes to 110 every time. So if you see any barrel picks out there that say barrel proof or cask strength, any of this kind of stuff in the Russell's Reserve, unless that barrel proof was exactly 110.0,
right?
It is not barrel proof. Please don't market it that way. And I think that's a good way to get cracked down on if you start doing stuff like that.
It absolutely is.
Cask strength isn't a regulated term, though, is it?
Well, the ATF has a ruling on it, but I think Brian probably answered that better.
Okay.
It happens to be in Bourbon Justice. There's some Easter eggs in the footnotes, and that's one of them.
Yep, great read.
I
That
guess
is a
another
great
thing
read
is,
for everybody.
you know, everybody kind of knows that Wild Turkey goes in at a lower proof, and so when they go to actually dump it, there is a possibility that Russell's
You'll get close.
could be at 110 or right around there.
Yeah,
So
mine was a 111.2, which I mean, you know, there was some water added, but you get most flavor. But that's not uncommon. There's plenty of Russell's Reserve single barrels that hover just over 110. Jamie Ferris had several. I mean, it's not uncommon. It's not rare. And then same thing with short barrels. You know, a lot of people think short barrels are super rare. How many times have you seen this is a short barrel? This is a short barrel. You see it all the time.
All the time.
It's not as rare as people think. It just takes a little nick and you have a leak, you know.
all right.
Karen, man.
So we're gonna probably close it out. I put it in chat, and I'll kind of put it to you guys. Should we talk about the salary question tonight? Because we've already gone on for about 50 minutes. Do you all want
Table
to?
it, and I want to give out samples to our viewers.
Do y'all think we should do it or table it for the next one?
Let's table
I want to
salaries.
talk about that with Fred, to be
Okay.
honest.
Yeah.
I feel like he had something to say about that too.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's the one who researched it. Let Fred talk about it.
All right, so we'll table that. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and we'll start the wrap up here. Well, awesome guys, this was a fantastic episode tonight. Just talking about fun stuff about distillery expansions and stickers and just random topics that are in the news lately because we all can't get enough of it, and that's why you need to subscribe to Bourboners Weekly Roundup because that's when you get even more news in your mailbox. Was it every Monday? Is that usually when it comes out? Thursdays. Thursdays when it comes out. So
I unsubscribed.
And a lot of people
Everybody
must get
subscribe.
that because the few times that I've been in that thing, my blog is just like blown up. I'm like, daggone, Blake.
So you get that bourboner bump. That's how
Man,
it's
I tell you.
Bourbon bump.
We built
I need to resubscribe to that thing. That's a big deal.
Only an NFL tight end can give you that kind of bump.
You know what? When you put in the hard work to become an NFL tight end like myself.
All right, so let's go ahead and we'll start closing it out. Since we'll start off with the NFL tight end.
Yeah, so former Green Bay Packers tight end Blake from Bourboner.com. You can find me at all the social medias, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and then also sealbox.com for all your craft spirit needs, SEELBACHS.com.
And Blistex.
Go ahead, Carrie. Carrie's feeling on cloud 9 right now, so I'm gonna let him go next.
This is Carrie from Suburbia. I don't know where the hell I am. I'm online. Find me. Just want to say thanks again to Kenny and Ryan. You guys are awesome for doing the podcast all the time and keeping so many people up to date on bourbon stuff. And Brian, you're awesome at book writing. Thank you for book writing all the time. Nick, thank you for providing stat charts to everybody, and your site is awesome. And Rare Bird, you're a really nice guy. It's nice to meet you.
Oh, thanks, Kerry. Happy birthday, man.
Thanks, man. And hey, Blake.
Somebody out.
All right, Brian, go ahead. Go next.
All right, this is Brian with Sip and Corn. You can find me at my new site. You can get me either at brianhara.com, BRIANHAARA. Sip and Corn Bourbon Pursuit is something I've enjoyed this. I've got a link to it on my site. And then Bourbon Justice is, of course, the new book. I've been tweeting and Facebooking and Instagramming about it kind of ad nauseum. Thanks for putting up with me on that. And enjoy it for the holiday season here. It's on sale on Amazon. Go get it, guys. Thanks.
Awesome. Nick.
I'm Nick with breakingbourbon.com. You can find us online, and all the social media handles are all Breaking Bourbon, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. And, I just want to say this group here, it's kind of exciting hearing everybody go through the different things that they're doing, the new things they're doing, the new things they've done. So I think all you probably watching know, we all know each other from just doing this and meeting on the internet. And, that actually turned into getting together, in Kentucky here and there. And I guess it's just exciting to see people just kind of continuing to be as excited about all this as everybody is. And it's exciting to see everybody, doing the things and succeeding at what they're doing. And it's exciting to see the crowd here, to watch live and throw up good comments and just be involved in all this, because that's really what, that's what I like about it. So, always doing these podcasts is a lot of fun. So thanks everybody. And David, great having you on as well. A lot of great info. I definitely read your site. So, a lot of great info there. Welcome.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And just to say with that, I think we peaked at around 87 people live tonight. So that was
not bad.
Pretty good number.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Dave, go ahead. Wrap
Clearly,
it up.
all the Louisville Bourbon Society people.
Clearly was.
Right?
Right.
Clearly.
5% of them.
All right, Dave, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I'm David. I run rarebird101.com. It is a wild turkey enthusiast website. It's mostly reviews. I've got some other things on there, but I just want to take just a second here and tell all of my followers and supporters on Patreon, thank you very much. You make this a wonderful experience for me. You inspire me. You keep me writing. You're always sending me ideas, and I really appreciate that. And I hope to continue to do this for many years to come. And I look forward to maybe a couple more picks, next year. And I'll go ahead and let everybody know. I think I mentioned it before last time I was on here, but I had mentioned possibly doing a book, but I am about halfway into a wild turkey book now, and I hope to have that out. I hope by Jimmy's 65th. That is my goal. I would love to have it by Jimmy's 65th, which would be next year. So anyway, just a little bit of news there. So thank you very much. Thank you for having me on, guys.
That's what you get when you listen to Bourbon Pursuit. You get all the insider info.
Hey, and I hope that everybody who's listening and everyone in this roundtable has an amazing Thanksgiving, drinks lots of bourbon, eats lots of turkey, and enjoys some great family time.
Amen.
Amen.
Yeah, absolutely. And I had to make a correction because people in the chat were like, Kenny, you're wrong. It wasn't 87. It's actually 91. So we eclipsed 90 people. So
awesome.
good to see that. I also have to give a shout out because I was drinking I know some of you guys got it as well. Some of the samples of the Chicken Cock whiskey, the double barrel bourbon aged 10 years. I don't know. I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Wait. You got a sample and I didn't?
Weird. I know.
What the freak?
Well,
I've got a review coming this week on that one. So
I have just cut chicken.
Somebody cut Carrie off.
Did any of you guys have their single barrel from before?
It's his birthday. It's all right.
Yeah, we'll let it slide this time.
Cutting off chicken cock.
And then, we've also got news. We've got a lot of stuff happening on the Bourbon Pursuit side. So as David said, we love our Patreon community as well. It's great. We've got our first new ref barrel that's coming through there. We've almost sold out 200 something bottles from that. Pursuit series, our private label, drops next month. And I actually just got word that our Four Roses barrel was one of Ryan's favorites. It was a short one. So we're going to have some unhappy people, unfortunately, that are going to be getting some Four Roses bottles come probably into December. So a lot of cool things that are happening inside of the Bourbon Pursuit Patreon community as well.
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, finish it up for me, Ryan.
Yeah, and I was going to go on the theme of Thanksgiving and gratitude. I'm extremely grateful and humbled by all of this. It truly amazes me that we get to sit around and talk about this and people listen to us and they support us. It's truly humbling and grateful. I'm so grateful that people enjoy this because I enjoy it so much and I enjoy hanging out with you guys and just love our fans, love everyone involved with it. And I just can't thank you all enough. So please take this week to enjoy everything. Life is great. It's awesome. Bourbon's awesome. Hang around people, share stuff, open the bottles up, have a great time. Love you. See you next time.
You're a good guy.
Nice. Gonna drink to that, Ryan.
Yeah, there's so much negativity around.
That's a good way to wrap it up, Ryan.
It is nice.
Yeah, the podcast is like the positive stuff in the world, right? There's so much bullshit online. This is the good stuff.
I'm going to keep pouring some of this chicken cock. I actually enjoyed it. I don't know about
I'm cutting off chicken cock right now.
And your chicken cock?
I didn't get my
the single barrel. Did any of you guys get the single barrel before and try that? That was like a year ago, maybe.
It was a while ago, but this is their double barreled one.
Yeah, it's
crazy though. I think they said this is retail like 150 or 250.
Whoa,
that much?
I think the single barrel was like 100 retail.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah, double cock is really expensive. That kind of makes sense.
But I actually like it. I think it's I was trying it back and forth from the Russells that I had over here, and I don't know. I think I probably preferred a little bit more. But
can I show you my lineup
for the price of one?
Let me show you my lineup and what I decided tonight. So I did Old Fitz 20.
Ooh.
I did the Michter's 20. I did this Pappy is
20.
This one's 2015. This was
Battle of the 20s.
Yeah.
Pappy 20. Then I did the Old Weller Antique 107 from 77 and the 79 Eagle Rare 101.
Now you're just bragging.
No, I'm not. Listen, I'll be honest, man. Although this was my favorite because it's got that old funk, I still say the Fitz 20 is really good.
Really?
I think it's really underrated.
I mean, I like the old.
I think you cut out a little.
No. New house, same internet problem.
Bill's got the close in there.
He was going in the Matrix.
Yeah,
Carrie,
I like that you got all that stuff open, Carrie. I
feel
like there was was it you that was years ago that just broke down and just opened everything? Were you posting about that?
Yes, I got really mad and I opened everything.
It's like I'm opening everything. I'm not gonna think about it anymore.
I'll always open the first one of everything, but I mean, yeah, you got to keep backups. I feel like if you got to open something, at least try it. And if you don't like it, sure, trade the backups. But how are you going to know if you don't like it if you're just selling?
You don't try it.
Right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Tell it to my kids.
So yeah, I have everything.
With that, somebody just said, Joshua Smith said, Carrie's stomach is worth more than a used 2006 Honda Civic right now.
That's awesome.
That's pretty funny.
Let's give away something. How about Here we go. How about a 1 ounce free sample of Eagle Rare 10101 from 19? This is 79, I believe.
Can I get in this?
For everybody on the
79.
Yeah, are we eligible?
Okay, can we get in this one?
Did Kerry read the terms of service before he joined you?
Yeah, you guys can get on this too.
No,
All right,
it's all
I'm
good.
in.
We'll let the chat people come on.
Come on, I'm in.
Hey, you talk to him offline. I'll bet you guys can trade a sample
All
or
right.
something.
So,
All
my
right, guys, I
question
got
is-
ahead. You guys, I just wanted to say thank y'all again.
Thank you,
All
man.
right,
Thank
you got
you
it.
for having you.
Y'all take care. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
No problem.
So, what year? Give me some good Eagle Rare question. If they're going to win a 10-100, they need to answer a really good Eagle Rare trivia question. I don't know enough about the old history of it. I feel like Brian could throw down something here.
When was the re-release of ER17 at 101 proof?
No. Have you tried it, by the way?
No, that bottle's too expensive. I'm not opening that.
Well, I'm sure the bars have it there. Somebody's got to have it there.
Actually, I haven't seen really anything.
I haven't
Well,
seen-
I take it
haven't seen it
back.
around.
Actually, I don't know. I take it back because I don't even think Westport has it. So I don't know who would have it that was going to have it open.
I heard Brian is at his release party. You know, at the
Come on
Bourbon Bistro.
on December 4th. Come on, everybody.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, here's the question. At the first bourbon tasting I ever hosted for my neighborhood, I had 3 bourbons, 3 everyday bourbons that I bought 3 bottles of a piece. Tell me, get at least 2 of them right, but you get 3 guesses. to
Everyday
name the
bourbon.
3
What year?
bourbons.
What year did you do this?
This was just 2015.
Okay, that makes a difference.
They were
Oh.
everyday bourbons, and I bought 3 of 3. So tell me, whoever gets you only get 3 guesses.
I'm going to defer to everybody else because this is just a shot in the dark at the end of the day now.
People are scrolling through Twitter now like mad.
Yeah. What was available in 2015?
Somebody said
There we
orphan.
go.
Somebody said orphan barrel. I love that.
So every day in 2015, you had an
Logic
Elmer
Craig
in there, right?
Well.
I'm not going to answer that right there. God, there's some really good answers too.
Yeah.
Something tells me since it's ER, that's got to be one of them of the 3.
Somebody's really close there.
You're looking
Somebody has 2 of 3 right now.
This is like
These are great.
They're really good answers. Henry McKenna, I wasn't big in back in 2015. That was not one.
Yeah,
of them.
it's too early for you for
Oh,
that.
there it is. Mark Knight got it correct.
Elijah
And-
Craig, Buffalo Trace, and Eagle Rare.
12, Buffalo Trace, and Eagle Rare. Those were the 3 that I had.
good
And I had
staple.
1 bottle of Elmer.
See, I was thinking it was going to
Nice.
be Elmer.
Yeah. Good staples.
but he said you had he had 3 of them. So
2015,
Yes,
you could do that still.
at least they're really even around here. I don't think you could still find on the shelves in 2015.
You know what?
What,
Actually,
Elmer?
I am going to.
different
I'm going to
here.
go back to my pictures real quick. Maybe I need to make sure this is correct. I thought it was EC12 and Eagle Rare, but once you said Elmer, I was like, maybe it was Elmer that I had. There.
I
Maybe
think
it was
I
that
think you
easy
should
to
give
get
it to
back
Mark
then.
on principle alone now.
I
because
will
you
give it to him.
You
Yes,
can't
I will give it to him.
take it off of it. So
I will give it to him, but there may have actually been 3 Elmers there.
it's all good.
Let's go back there.
It's all good.
Well, 2015 was when Elmer tasted like cardboard, right? For like one of the runs.
They had a tainted batch, didn't they?
Yeah, that was. I actually had one.
So did I.
I honestly, I don't know if I still have any more of it left or not.
And was it cardboard? Is that right? Is that what I'm remembering?
It just tasted
like
weird.
Like musty. It was like a musty.
Yeah, like a must. Yeah.
I think we had a roundtable about it at one point because I think it was Carrie that had the description that it was like filtered through somebody's grandma's panties or something like that. That just seems to be one that always stuck out with me.
That's fine.
Wasn't that Parker's 24 year? Didn't somebody say that about that?
Maybe that's what it was from. But that one tasted like that too.
Hey, did y'all get the Heaven Hill 27 in Kentucky?
We actually haven't. It hasn't dropped here.
Because there is
Yeah.
it is everywhere in Atlanta.
Well, go
Yeah.
get me like 2 bottles
Yeah.
then.
Go get it all.
4. No, I'm just kidding. Oh
Get
my
it
God.
all.
So here it is. It was. I still give it to him, but it was 3 bottles of Elmer T. Lee,
Ah,
3 bottles of Eagle Rare, and 3 bottles of 1792 Ridgemont Reserve.
So you're a Sazerac guy.
You didn't even know what you're. Nobody even said 1792 anywhere.
No idea what I was getting at the time. I just knew Elmer was good. That was way off. All right. Well, anyway, with that guess,
hey, tell him how to get in contact with you, so it's not a.
Who is he again?
Mark Knight.
It was the birthday drunk guy.
How many 20-year-olds now? Are you up to 100? Did you have 5? How many did you have there?
Yeah, Mark, if you don't get anything, don't blame it on us, man. Because
he's definitely getting an ounce of this Eagle Rare.
It is recorded, so he can always come back.
Rare bird guy, I'll give him some of that wild turkey from Austin Nichols there too. I'll give him 2 ounces of that.
If you do that, he'll probably write a blog post on it.
Better than me.
I see you got a white label Weller back there.
The CYPB.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I had a chance to try it. Amazes me. People are paying $300 for it.
Yeah, me too. It's all this stuff is decent at retail, but it's one of those things where you're like, how would somebody pay $300 and drink this and say, "Oh, that was a good investment"? I don't get any of that. But
I think it's great. It'd be great for a $50 or even an $80 bottle. But $300, get out of here.
No, that's crazy.
I mean, I saw people today on Twitter posting that Weller 12 is $750 now on the secondary.
Wait, what? Like 750?
Yeah.
No, you're an idiot. No, it's still at 100.
Okay, good.
Yeah, don't worry. Things we haven't gotten that low. Like
I'm selling. I'm just
this week in
every
Bourbon
world.
Lows.
I'm selling if it's 750.
When Weller Special Reserve hits 750 a bottle, Kenny is just watch out. He's gonna just lose it.
Oh, dude, yeah, it's not even. Oh, so you did get a Heaven Hill 27?
Yes. I will say it's definitely the coolest cater package. It's actually a really cool display case. Like it is. The side of it shows.
That's
like
really cool.
Yeah. Reminds me of a Scotch packaging more than bourbon packaging.
Yeah, it is a really nice. The problem is, first of all, it doesn't fit into any kind of like bunker that I have. It's huge. It's like 16 inches.
It does look awkward.
Yeah, the what was it? Just from insider knowledge, some people were kind of like back and forth. So, like half the people didn't like that the HH wasn't stained on the side and stuff like that. Looks like it should have been like given a lighter color or something, or like part stained, but not just the same exact stained color or something like that. But I don't know. We haven't had a single Heaven Hill 27 year come to Kentucky yet.
You are one of the markets, though, right?
We saw one at the Speed Museum. That was it.
There's apparently 7 markets for it.
400 for that?
Well, they said 7 markets, and Nashville wasn't supposed to be one of them. And guess what? It went to Nashville.
No, Nashville, I heard, was one of the 7.
Nashville,
Chicago, Atlanta, New York. Nothing I've heard west of like Colorado was a market for it.
Yeah, it'd be cool to get one, but I'm not going to hold my hopes up. I've had the sample, and I thought it was all right, but you know, my theory was that, and I think Ryan had even talked about and hinted at this too, is that it is 3 years since the last Parker's 24 year.
That was me. I said that.
Oh, was it you? Okay,
yeah, that was me.
And
so the Parker,
I didn't like that Parker's year. I thought it was terrible. So.
But it's only like one of the 2 Park. You know, there were 2 Parker's 24s.
Spring and
fall.
fall.
The one that I had open was the one that 3 of my buddies and I tried them and thought they were the same thing. But
I thought the nose on that was incredible on that 20, but it just the finish is so bad, so bad.
So there's a lot more oak.
Yeah,
there's a lot of oak in the Heaven Hill stuff. But what surprised me about the Evan Williams 23 was there wasn't oak. It wasn't that like sweet oak at all. It was delicious. I don't know why you guys don't love that Evan Williams 23.
Can anybody give me an Evan Williams 12-year Japanese release, like from like, gosh, I want those. I'm trying to find them. I can't.
I just got one in the Snowball auction, the Evan Williams 12-year. It's not wax dipped, but it's plastic red cap. And I'm thinking,
was it a dusty
really?
Or no?
This is $130 or $130 bottle.
Oh, the new red ones.
Yeah, the new red ones.
Yeah,
I'm talking about the old ones.
Yeah, Ryan got his hands on some Japanese dusty that was essentially the red label Evan Williams, but it was a Japan only release.
Yeah,
and it's pretty steady.
It's
Yeah,
maybe
I've-
one of my top.
But
I've
has
tried it
anyone
one
had
time.
the new release that I got? I mean, it's $130 with the plastic cap.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
nowhere.
what's up with that?
It's very average.
Tastes like Elijah Craig 12 year. It's
Really?
That's what I figured. It went
Yeah.
to a good cause though, Children's
Yeah.
Hospital.
and
there you
then
go.
All right, fellas.
yeah, and then Carrie, I know you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, if you, like I said, if you ever want an Evan Williams 23 year, they got those lined in the shelves deep
Yeah.
at the
So
Williams
good.
Experience. Like
It's
nobody,
so good though.
they're not. It's not. I think it's. I think it's
disagree.
old hot garbage. In my opinion, I don't think it's that
No.
good.
I really liked it. It reminded me of like an old Dusty that's available today.
Well, come on up and buy them out.
All right, I
Yeah.
definitely will. All right, my friends, thank you. It's been a fun birthday. Thanks for making it fun. Always enjoy hanging with you guys.
Happy birthday, Carrie.
Thank you, my
Carrie.
friends, and we'll talk to you soon.
Glad you made it.
You got it. Take care, bud.
See ya.
And I think that'll probably wrap it
That
up. If
kills us.
somebody else has any more topics to talk about.
Like, make out with Rare Bird over there.
Yeah, it was getting a little too close for comfort.
I was like, "Whoa, buddy!"
He's like giving him compliments on his hair and his vest.
I know.
It's like, whoa.
It was good having him on though. I like him.
Oh
No,
yeah,
he has some good
He was
insight.
totally Bill Clinton. Am I the only one who heard that?
oh yeah. He's definitely I got the southern and then the cold. I think.
Yeah.
You know,
it's the
the
cold
Bill
that did it, but it was. I mean, all I heard was Bill Clinton.
I'm
You
gonna
just
have to
need
go
to
back
back
to YouTube Bill Clinton now and listen to some. I feel like I can't put the sound, his voice in my head. Gotta check.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Oh shit.
I can't do it. Rare Bird could do it.
Oh yeah.
Josh Smith just asked, he goes, what time's the New Riff Lotto going to happen? At this point, I don't think we're going to need to worry about a lotto because we had 200 so there were 217 bottles in this barrel, which is quite a lot. Ryan and I are taking a few. The barrel selection team are taking their few. So there's like 200 bottles available, and I think there's like 180 signups right now. So there's still like 20 bottles left. So at this point, everybody's going to get a bottle, and if they want multiples, they can have them. So we're it's gonna be great. But Tony sent me a message earlier about
Talking about young bourbon. You got a lot of it.
yeah. But Tony sent me a message about the Four Roses earlier. He was like, what the fuck, Kenny? I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, that's the first thing he said. And he was just like, did you pick a short barrel from Four Roses? I was like, I don't think so. It was like 9.5 years, I think is what we chose. And he was like, it's like it had us and Plump Jack and somebody else like on the sheet or whatever. And we're like a quarter less than like what everybody else is getting in their single barrel. So I think it's like 107 bottles total.
Hey, I wanted the other one. You picked that one.
It was a group consensus, I'm pretty sure.
Well, they got some different stuff coming out too. A really big flavor variation. Those ones Blake had were very different.
Oh,
from
New
one to the
Riff?
next. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of people are getting on board. I had somebody give me I tried some of that Ken Riffy Jr. I don't know if you saw those stickers, the ones that came out. It was fantastic. I loved it. And back on the sticker game, but it was one of those things that I would say like 1 out of every 10 are like really good. So you've got to go through all of them when you get a chance. And the cool thing is, if you all want, you should go and sign up to do it because you don't have to go through a store for New Riff. I think it's just available to the public. If you want a barrel, you can go get a barrel.
They're all about 4 years old now. I think
They're all, well, what happens is they dump them like right as soon as they hit, like ours was barreled on 11.5 and they dumped it like on 11.6.
They're good though. I mean, there's good ones there. That's
Mhm.
that's the interesting thing.
You're asking about our serial killer pick. For anybody that doesn't know, Ryan and I still haven't got our serial killer barrels. Bottles. They are sitting in FedEx in Indiana somewhere. So I don't know if we're ever going to see them, to be honest with you.
Was that barrel?
Yeah, that was our barrel bourbon pick. But we've got
Pick, Nick, behind you
What's that?
of the barrel bourbon. Is that your all's pick?
Yeah. Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, that's ours. Actually,
I didn't get mine.
we landed on a 101 proof, which surprised me that we liked it. It was the lowest proof of the group, but I don't know, kind of hit the spot.
There's one that the liquor store we go through, Keg and Bottle, that they picked. It was like 5. It's low proof and it's really good. I like it.
But we've got our own batch of 14-year stuff coming out too for Pursuit series. So
when's that going to hit? Do you guys have a closer date for that?
So we are, everything takes delays. That's what we've found out going through this. But we should, at least we've been promised or told that we will have our labels. Like at this point, our first 3 barrels have been dumped. They're bottled, but they haven't been labeled yet. And so the 30th is when we should have our labels in hand. And then that's when we will overnight them to our bottler and we'll slap some labels on them and then work with Blake to get them over to DC and then start shipping out. So we're actually going to start the pre-sales on those. I think next week is what I got the
nice.
The post queued up for at this point.
We're ready for it. It's been a long time.
Oh yeah.
Good time too with the holiday.
Well, I mean, it's funny. We say it's been a long time, but man, the way things that we're trying to do our best to kind of not skirt, but try a different way to do this and not going through the traditional system. Because if we had to talk to distributors, if we had to talk to getting licenses in every state, we would be like a year from now of actually being able to release anything. So being able to kind of do this as direct as possible is going to be able to,
I still think we're going to get shut down at some point.
Say what now?
Pillbox is going to get shut down at some point. We're like, oh no, what do we do now?
Yeah, if we don't have Blake, then our whole operation's in a mess. Then P Diddy says, "Is the 001 still available?" It actually hasn't even gone up yet. We thought we were going to be launching this month in November. Come to find out, we're going to be releasing episodes 1 and 2 in December. So that's what we're targeting right now. Is probably we're going to have our pre-sale going on next week. Of course, this is all going to be for Patreon community members first, and with 154 bottles in episode 1, I think 106 in episode 2, they're going to go pretty quick.
Yeah.
At least that's our goal. Our goal is that people want to buy them.
If not, we'll throw a cheesy sticker on them. The cheesy, cheesy foil.
Yeah. John, appreciate it. We don't need samples. We had tried it. We're the ones who picked it. I appreciate you saying that, though. Definitely do.
Yeah. Well, I've got to go to bed. I'm turning pumpkin.
Yeah, this was fun, guys.
You got it. Still 55 viewers on even this late. That's awesome.
Oh man, I feel bad for leaving.
No, it's all good.
A lot of people got the week off,
That's true.
I got chilling out this week. Yeah.
Eric, if you all want to jump off, that's fine. I can answer a few questions on here. Eric was asking when our Elijah Craig barrel is going to be ready, and honestly, I haven't heard anything out of that either.
It's just amazing how painfully slow these all are.
Yeah. And one thing we didn't actually answer, and somebody actually asked it on chat, and I totally forgot, was when we were talking about Heaven Hill and the new expansion, somebody said, well, are they going to get their barrel program up in shape? And I was like, well, God, you'd hope so, but I don't see any hope for that barrel program to kind of make a turn beyond Elijah Craig. They really need to.
Yeah. Yeah. It'd be nice to do McKenna.
Just make it barrel proof.
Right.
If you just make it barrel proof, that's all people would give a shit about anyway. I don't understand why it's so hard to do, except the fact that they have to write all the proofs in, maybe, or you have to get new labels printed off for every single one, but whatever it is.
Well, there's still a question though as to whether or not that label needs to be approved with the different proof on it, which everything I've read says it doesn't. The TTB says it doesn't. They let everything else slide anyway, and then they say you don't even need to do that. Right. But then I've heard brands saying that they think that it does, and that's been the thing that's held them back from barrel proof. So he wrote an article about it, and I reached out to him. I said, where are you seeing that there's an issue here? Because everything I'm reading says the opposite.
Well,
our Brian, is that what you're talking about?
No. Somebody.
Oh, okay.
A while back. No, not Brian.
Brian's trying to talk, but it's not talking.
Oh, yeah.
I had it on mute.
Oh, there you go.
Okay,
Brian.
there you are.
I've been talking the whole damn time.
He's very silent. Sorry. Anyway, what were you trying to say?
Who,
Or
me?
were you trying to say anything?
Yeah, no, Nick. Yeah, no. It wasn't me saying you can't do it, but I was agreeing with you. I mean, Heaven Hill's just got to allow the barrel proof. I mean, they did it for what 2-3 years ago. They were allowing it. Everyone wants it. Same with Brown Foreman. I mean, I think that's probably closer to allowing barrel proof Old Forester. So,
Yeah. I just don't understand why they don't, because you don't have to do anything different. The only thing that you have to do is you got to employ somebody for a few hours one day to actually like write the proofs on the label, and that's it.
And with as crazy as all the groups are, I mean, we'll do that, right? I mean, we'll hand label it all we want.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even need to hire somebody. I mean, bring us in. We'll do it. That's part of the experience, is write the proof on.
Well, I mean, you kind of, they should probably figure that out, because you kind of have to do that at Maker's Mark today, but you don't actually have to write the proof. But when you go to Maker's Mark private selection, like one of the last things you do after you're there for 9 hours, they make you actually initial the back of every single one of these labels. And so it's like, yeah, sure, just get the hydrometer out and be like, okay, it's a 128.8. Go ahead, write it on every single one of these labels. And I don't think anybody's going to shy away from
your hydrometer in my truck.
Oh, did I leave it? Oh, well.
Right, Brian, this is going to be the new bourbon experience. You go and you work in a distillery for a day. Right, you're going to have a whole distillery where it's just all people there for fun, and they're doing everything from labeling to bottling to pulling barrels, the whole kit and caboodle.
I mean, you don't need to worry about unions. You don't need to worry about workforce. You just bring the shitheads like us in, and we do it all.
And they pay you, right? They pay $50 a day to be able to.
No, we pay them. I mean, that's the
right. Yeah, us as the consumers, they pay the distillery.
Yeah. I mean,
some of you'll do it. Just watch.
Exactly. I mean, and with Heaven Hill, now we dump the bourbon. You don't have to pay a union guy to dump the bourbon.
I see a good question from John Brown. When's the next BCR pick?
Good question.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out. I'll talk to Tony and see what barrel picks we got ready for 2019 to.
Yeah, because we don't know what 2019. We're doing our last one next week,
the 30th.
Yeah, we don't know.
30th is our last. But most of the calendars, they don't open up until either beginning of the year. I know when we were there, I was there picking a Weller barrel at Buffalo Trace, I think a week or two ago. And Susanna told me that allocations for every state or territory were going out like last week or this week or something like that. So they're going to know who's getting what or what's available and stuff like that.
Let's do another one. I mean, Jack Rose has got to be running out, right?
I know.
We'll see.
I mean, what are they selling 2 ounces for at Jack Rose of our?
Too bad. I think it was like $8, $8 or $9.
Shit, that's worth going to DC for.
And they even sent the bottle by you,
Mm-hmm. Get your picture with it.
That's right.
Well, that's how you saw it. Or didn't somebody post a random picture? And
I saw it today or yesterday. I forget even when it was, but yeah.
Yeah, it was on Bourbon Hounds. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd forgotten that we had even done that.
Yeah, there were the 2 guys that were on the podcast before that were economic professors at U of L. They were actually in DC, and they took a picture of it and posted it.
Connor.
Yeah, so it was Connor. Yeah.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's do another one. That was fun.
You'll be able to get
happen.
A series of Jack Roses too.
Yeah. Oh, did he respond back?
I forgot to send it, but I'll send it.
Literally earlier this day, I'm just like, hey, see if we need to earmark some bottles for Bill Thomas if he wants them at Jack Rose. If not, we're gonna go sell out. So
yeah, I was at our new shop today. I was gonna
looking around.
We're focused on that.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out where the sold barrels.
I'm bailing.
Yep.
I gotta go too.
Sounds good, y'all. All right.
Appreciate
Until
it,
next time.
Yep. Later.
it was fun. Night.